Good morning, everyone. Welcome to SUNY New Paltz and to our second Hudson Valley Future Summit. I'm curious to know how many of you here, this is your first visit to campus, ever? Wow, awesome. Well, welcome back, everyone. And I'm curious to know how many were here for last year's Future Summit. Wow, welcome back again. We're dedicating this day to the increasingly enriching, productive, and strategic interplay between this campus and the various civic, educational, business, and creative interests within the Hudson Valley. At today's event, SUNY New Paltz will continue to facilitate what we hope will be a productive conversation with a diverse group of engaged people, all invested in the success of the region. And we never know quite what the outcomes of an event like today will be. I learned just a few minutes ago that last year, 2 people met at this event and were married last weekend. So we don't have a matchmaking purpose, but you never know what will happen. This summit is made possible by the SUNY New Paltz Foundation with support from our lead sponsors who represent several of the perspectives that we're bringing to bear on today's conversation. They include Jimmy Smith in advanced testing. I don't know if Jim is here. He was, I think, going to be here. Dan Leader and Bread Alone. Dan is here, who also donated breakfast this morning. Thank you, Dan. Robert Tonner and his custom doll company, Finn and Arrow. Is Robert here? Gary and Diane Kvistad in the Woodchuck Chimes Foundation. Gary's here. Kevin Zraly, a 1974 New Paltz alum, owner of Kevin Zraly's Wine School, and Kevin is here somewhere back here. And Joe Kirchhoff of Kirchhoff Medical Properties. Thank you all. Joe's in the back here. Thank you. I also want to thank and recognize our Summit Future Fellows who were chosen by me to shape this event, and I know that group volunteered and spent many hours planning today's activities. So if you could stand when I call your name, and let's hold our applause till everybody's been calling. Kristen Backus, Dean of the School of Business. Liz Duncan Gilmore. Nancy Johnson. Cale Capishilin, back in the back. Gary Kvistad. Dan Leader. No, come on, guys. Cynthia McVeigh. Jenny Mockren, Dean of the School of Fine and Performing Arts, over here. Noah Simons, couldn't be here. Matt Stinchcomb, back in the back. So thank you all for helping plan today's event. I also want to acknowledge our committee organizers, Erica Marks, Vice President for Development and Alumni Relations, sitting over here. Lisa Sandick, who you heard from here just a few minutes ago, and Rich Winters, who works in the President's office at New Paltz, and I don't know if Rich is here yet. And I also want to acknowledge several campus departments and offices who made today's event possible. They include the Dorsky Museum for providing the space, Office of Communication and Marketing, Instructional Media Services, and Campus Auxiliary Services and Sodexo. So thank you all for your support for this effort. I'm also delighted to welcome our 3 keynote speakers to SUNY New Paltz, 2 of whom I'll introduce in more detail momentarily. They include Rob Dyson, Chairman and CEO of the Dyson Kistner Moran Corporation, Dr. K.T. Tobin, Associate Director of the Benjamin Center for Public Policy Initiatives here at SUNY New Paltz, and Adjunct Professor of Sociology, and Raghava K.K., who we'll hear from after lunch. He's an artist and creativity expert. We've structured this year's Future Summit to include 6 conversation teams, each led by 1 or more Future Fellows, a community leader, a SUNY New Paltz faculty member, and a student. And our conversation teams include the following topics: the arts, economic development through technology, entrepreneurship, farms and foods, our natural environs, and preparing tomorrow's workforce. Would our speakers for each of those conversations please stand so we can acknowledge your efforts. Okay, thank you all. So as you've heard, we hope that you elected the same conversation topic for both the morning and afternoon sessions. The intention here is for the morning sessions to lay out challenges and opportunities. The afternoon will continue the conversation, seek resolutions, and identify possible next steps for us to take. At the end of the day, all teams will reconvene right here and share conclusions with the broader group. The creation of this program grew out of the creative effort and great ideas of many people. For me, one of the seeds was a brief conversation back in 2012, very early in my presidency here at SUNY New Paltz. And I was speaking with a longtime resident of the Hudson Valley who described the many strengths and assets of the region, economic, social, institutional, creative, and historical, all in a marvelously rich and beautiful natural environment. But he went on to decry the missed opportunity because many of these assets are not as well integrated as they might be. He offered the opinion that existing organizations have not been fully effective in creating synergy so that the whole can be more than the sum of its parts. He encouraged me to think about whether SUNY New Paltz, as the largest and most prominent public organization in the Mid-Hudson region, might take on the role of providing the glue to bring all of those assets and strengths together. He thought that a first-year president certainly shouldn't take on a role like that, but encouraged me to do so after I became better established. And now in the 7th year of my presidency, this is one of the ways that I'm thinking about our gathering here today. Our college strategic plan identifies strengthening our regional and community engagement as a priority initiative. Connecting with the region is not a new thought at SUNY New Paltz, but hearing from you through discussions like today's will help us learn how we can play a more expansive and influential role, becoming the intellectual and cultural hub in the Hudson Valley, which is one of my goals. SUNY New Paltz remains for some, and we've heard this for a number of years, a best-kept secret in the Hudson Valley, certainly not something that we want to sustain. So I'll speak briefly about who we are and some of the ways that we already engage in the region. We do so largely through our traditional mission of teaching and learning, service, and research and scholarship. And I offer the following comments as context for some of our discussion today and perhaps to seed some ideas for new or amplified initiatives. We're recognized as a top-tier public university in the Northeast, and we've been ranked regionally and nationally as a best value in higher education based on high quality and modest cost. I routinely hear from students, and you'll meet some of our students today, that they value the opportunities we provide for learning, both in and out of the classroom, the opportunity, the diversity of our student body, and the opportunity to learn from people different from themselves, and our open, inclusive campus environment. We were ranked recently in the top 8% of the most difficult schools in New York to get into. And we think that's important because studies show that students of equal ability do much better at more selective institutions than more open access institutions. We're also proud to be recognized among the top colleges and universities in the nation for our positive impact on upward social mobility, which surely is a purpose for all of higher education. Half of our graduates each year came to us originally as transfer students, especially from, mostly from the Hudson Valley community colleges, especially Ulster, Dutchess, and Orange, but community colleges also from across the state. So we're part of an outstanding higher education ecosystem in the Mid-Hudson Valley, and I'm pleased to recognize my colleague Alan Roberts, who's president at SUNY Ulster, joining us here today. So here are a few ways that we connect with the Hudson Valley through entrepreneurial, environmental, economic, cultural, and civic pathways, and that we want to continue growing. These are examples only, not an exhaustive list. Our Hudson Valley Advanced Manufacturing Center is home to our 3D printing and design initiatives, where additive manufacturing brings art, engineering, design, and business all together. We've now worked with more than 250 different businesses and entrepreneurs, and our students are developing knowledge and skills in these areas through our digital design and fabrication curriculum and through applied learning experiences. Staff in the center were stunned earlier in the semester when a gentleman walked into the lab, poked around the machines a little bit, and asked some questions. And then he said, "You printed my heart." And one of our business collaborations involves working with a small business in Orange County. And we print individualized medical models from 3D images so that surgeons can better understand what they'll find before they begin surgery on a patient. And this gentleman who visited our lab was a beneficiary of that work. I mention that because I think there's a popular notion that 3D printing is good for making trinkets and toys, and there's some serious work that we do in the center. The mechanical engineering major that we added several years ago responds to identified workforce needs in the Hudson Valley and is drawing tremendous student interest. And we just broke ground on an engineering innovation hub that will serve these students in regional industry needs very well. We've experienced a near doubling of the number of students enrolled in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics majors over the past several years. We see this direction as not only meeting student need and interest, but also fulfilling a regional workforce need. And I'm quick to add that at the same time, we've sustained our traditional strengths in the arts, liberal arts, in the fine and performing arts as core to our academic programs. Our Samuel Dorsky Museum of Art right here has emerged as one of the leading arts organizations in the Hudson Valley, not just because of the high quality exhibitions hosted here, but also by serving as an important organizing node in the network of arts organizations in the region. The Dorsky and certainly the faculty and students in the School of Fine and Performing Arts elevate the role of the arts in our regional quality of life. If you've not attended one of our theater performances, enrolled your kids or grandkids in the Saturday Arts Lab, or visited a Dorsky Museum, you're missing wonderful opportunities, and I encourage you to take advantage of them. Within our School of Business, student organizations like our nationally award-winning American Marketing Association undertake projects to support area businesses and organizations. We're expanding connections to local food sourcing and sustaining food production and an agricultural economy in the Hudson Valley through a variety of programs in our School of Business. Our Benjamin Center for Public Policy Initiatives conducts research on regional issues to inform public policy discussion and decision-making, focusing on improving governance and quality of life in the region. Every project done in the center includes at least one apprentice student researcher, and that's one example of the applied learning opportunities that we create for our students. Our faculty share their expertise with local companies and organizations, and that's across a broad array of disciplines: history, education, writing, engineering, ecology, the arts, business is just a few examples. The Career Resource Center, in collaboration with academic departments and other units, connects with regional organizations to create internship opportunities for our students. Internship participation is one of the most powerful ways that we can prepare our students for the workforce, and we want to keep expanding that program. And you'll get a little nudge from me later on this afternoon about helping us build internship programs for our students. Our School of Education has built strong connections with the regional K-12 community. We're home to the Regional Master Teacher Program in the Hudson Valley, and we've played a leadership role in the Teach New York initiative that aims to educate the next generation of elementary and secondary teachers. Through efforts like these, especially in the past decade, we've worked to create a model public university and a model civic collaborative, both to enhance the learning experiences of our students and to improve quality of life in the Hudson Valley. We want to continue building and reinforcing this engagement as a defining and animating ethos in the future of SUNY New Paltz and the Hudson Valley. Higher education, perhaps especially public higher education, is in the midst of dramatic change, as I'm sure you're all aware. Stronger connections with our regional community and stronger public-private partnerships will help us adapt to a new future. So we hope that today will help us continue on that trajectory. It's now my pleasure to introduce our first keynote speaker, Rob Dyson, Chairman and CEO of the Dyson-Kistner Moran Corporation, a privately owned, diversified investment holding company. Rob has a wide range of business interests and responsibilities. In the Mid-Hudson Valley, the Dyson Foundation supports a diverse array of organizations from colleges and hospitals to human services and safety net programs. Rob owns and manages a diverse array of private investments, and earlier in his career had been the founder and owner of a regional radio broadcasting group of Hudson Valley radio stations. He's deeply involved in the civic life in the Hudson Valley. His complete bio can be found inside your program, and we've asked him today to speak about equity considerations and not leaving behind swaths of our society as we expand and build our economy. It's now my pleasure to welcome to the podium Rob Dyson.